Good day, traders. Hoping that everybody's doing well today. Let's hop on to the pre-London, see what we can find today, see what we can take advantage of. And yeah, drop your comments on the side there. And let's see which page you guys want us to see today. Let me share my screen and get this started. There we go. I'm just going to remove my alerts as usual. If you guys have been following me, you'll see how I use a lot of these alerts to guide me in which setups are coming in clearly and which ones I can take advantage of. Good morning, Mzwandi. Let's see, we've got an early one here as well. Morning, is my sound good? If it's good, drop me a thumbs up on the side there and then drop your pairs and let's hop on. Let me just clear some of my charts. Remember to also drop your questions as well. I'll definitely answer them to the best of my knowledge. Meanwhile, let's start with one of your favorite pairs, gold. See, my sound is perfect and my screen should be perfect as well. Okay, as usual, we always start with the daily. We always try to see what the daily is showing us, see what we can grab from it. And from this daily zone is still active, it's still valid. We are going to leave it as is. I think I did this with you guys on the last stream. So we'll leave that on the side there. But meanwhile, we do have something happening in this region here. But now it's really close to this level here that I marked a couple of days ago. So let's see what we can find on the 4 hour. Just looking at that level, I'll probably give you a couple of setups with the specific pair, and then we'll see which ones we're going to take advantage of. Okay, so we're just going to see how many we can do just before the London Open. Okay, so there's a level that we'll both definitely be interested in. And we'll probably focus on this OB here. Drop onto the lower time frames and try find an unmitigated order block. And take it from there. Ideally, I'd want to go for this and also take some of the highs because gold tends to literally just obliterate them. There we go. So we'll have a setup like this, which you can actually hold on to probably for the next couple of sessions. I'll just leave it there. And also just focusing on this current session, we will probably look at this region here as well. Just going to look at that region there. Hop onto the lowest time frame. Not necessarily the lowest, but the most. Okay, I'm just going to use both those. Go even lower. Because I'm looking for a region where I can practically take it from, which is that one over there. Now, this would be the hourly level. So setup, which looks like this. There we go. So this would be how I'd be tackling gold. And remember, guys, we don't use limit orders. We always use stops. So what you do is have your alert 50% in the zone here. And then once price does get into that level, you just put your sell stop and take it from there. I'm just going to mark it as well. Just remove these old ones and save this one to send later. So this is how to approach both these two. So we'd have this hourly one over here, which is slightly bit risky. And then of course this 4 hour one here at the top, which seems much, much better. But like I said, this should wait for. This will probably trigger in the London Open or before the New York. But we'll see how that works out. And once it does, don't use limit orders. Wait for price to get in the level. And then once it does, you trade it from there. Okay. Then we're going to hop on to the next pair. I do have my alert there. Usually, we'll look at the US 100. Let me also clean this chart. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. As usual, start at the top. Try to see what's happening with the pair, where you are. So we just turned in a good sensitive zone. And if we do continue tanking, we should see it literally going through to that level over there. This is still valid as well. One of the dailies as well, still valid. And then hopping onto the lower time frame to see if we can find anything decent to work with. Then let's just go over to the 1 hour. This region is not as clear as it should be. We don't have clear price action here. We don't have clear structure. So let's just move a bit into the price here. Zoom in here. We did have a decent BOS over here. Price tanked. Don't really have much of a move to the upside. But now this is a zone that we could work with as well. Let's go to the lower time frames here. The 15 mitigated on the 5. It's a little bit of a challenge here. Let's go even lower. Yeah, it's a bit of a train smash because we can't really find a decent zone to work with. It's going to make it much, much difficult. But we should have a way to work around it. I'll show you guys now. So what I usually do in these type of setups, I use my phobes just to get half of that. And then I'd mark that as my area to focus on. And of course, targeting these lows here. And then I'd have my alert. And then once price does get into this region, we are going to not literally put the sell stops, but actually start looking at structure in the lower time frames and see what it's giving us to the downside and potentially get a good setup in there. So that's how I'd approach US 100 today. I see back process, my analysis play out. If not 70% of them, do. Keep up, man. Thank you very much, man. Just trying my best here to help out as much as we can and learn from each other. I also learn from you guys, Some of the comments, I do go back into the charts and then I study some of the setups, study some of the comments and see just how much of it really does in that sense. That. So there's 100. It's good like that. So I'm just going to jump into US 30 actually, right after US 100, because these usually work out the same, guys. If you haven't seen that, they usually do play out the same. US 30. We caught this one nicely last week, which was pretty beautiful. But yeah. Guys, don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to like the stream. so we can keep getting ahead and keep taking advantage. I see J. Fisher says, let's have a blessed week filled with opportunities. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Let's take advantage of what the market gives us. Let's not give up and let's keep going. Okay, on the daily, it was playing around this area here. Also a very sensitive area, guys. Very sensitive area. Just like I just showed you now on US 100. You guys see that. Okay. Based off that, let's see what the 4 hours is giving us. Guys, I'm going to give you the 4 hour and the 1 hour because ideally, when you guys do play out with the 1 hour alone, you end up getting wicked out and so forth. But now 1 hour setups are the ones that will probably trigger today or later on in the day. And the 4 hour, you just keep them on your screens and wait for them to trigger and tackle them when they do. US 30, 4 hour. I don't see a decent pullback here to work with. Let's look at the hourly. Okay, this looks much, much better. Much, much better, actually. I just doubt we're going to find a decent OB to work with because price is already in there as we speak. So we could have a sell stop now on the live. Okay. Oh, probably missed it. One of the two. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. Okay, so we'll probably use these, all of them, because we're on the 1 minute time frame now. So you don't want to have a tight stop to such a point where you get kicked out of setups. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, so this is how we work it out. Also, same setup, guys. Use alerts. Make sure you've got your alert on the stop range or stop loss range, which will be this area here. Guys, the reason why we do this, we've tested this quite a number of times, a whole lot of times, and it allows you guys to not get wicked out. I keep repeating this. When you follow it this way, you're using momentum to work with you. And by the time price starts retracing, you're ready to break even, or you've taken some partials and it works for you. And because of the tight stops as well, it allows you to max out using momentum as well. So just be on the lookout for that. I think it'll be perfect. I see you've got Clayton Walters here from South Africa. Good morning, Clayton. Good morning. Okay. We're in the third pair now. I was explaining to one of the guys as well that when we focus on the charts, when we look at the charts, we literally look for the same thing over and over again, the same process over and over again. We don't change our mindsets. That's why we're able to analyze a number of pairs at the same time because of that very notion. We don't try to change anything. We don't change the process. It's like getting into a car. You know that you have to hit on the clutch, hit on the start, drive gradually. You don't just decide to all of a sudden get on the back seat when you need to go somewhere. We literally focus on the same process over and over again. And that's what makes us consistent, by the way. Okay, and then we've got US oil. I know some of you guys really loved requesting this one last week. This is the reason why I keep saying use stops. So if you were trading US oil on this setup that we shared last week, you'd have waited for price to get into the zone and then had a sell stop and then just wait for it to tank. When it does, it triggers you in. At 1 hour, you move up to break even. 2 hour, either close half or you can close at 3 hour. And then if you are having a good month, you can close at 5 hour and then just start operating from there. Hopefully that makes sense. Guys, if you do have any questions, just drop them on the side there. I will answer them to the best of my knowledge. If I don't know, I'll find out and we can have a chat after that. Okay. So on the daily, I'm going to give you guys another daily setup here, which could probably be triggering sometime soon, sooner than we think, because it just tapped into this daily OB. Let's see if we can have it even lower. So this would be a daily. This would be a daily setup. This is the only unmitigated one. So you can follow this one as well. I'll give you another one. I'll give you the 4 hour and the hourly. And that's how you end up having multiple trades in different positions, by the way, just by trading different time zones and different time frames, which allows you to max out. I mean, some people prefer scalping. They wouldn't want to wait for setups like these to play out. They'd want to get in on the hourly and get out, wait for tomorrow. So what this allows you to do is, as you keep trading the daily and the hourly and the 4 hour, when price gets into a certain zone that you're waiting for in a different time frame, you know that, okay, now it's time to switch to a different direction, or it's time to get in another setup, move others to break even. And ideally, when you do trade multiple time frames, you always want to get into setups when others are in break even or you've taken partials. So you wouldn't want to have 5 different setups on a negative or 5 different setups on a major drawdown. You do not want to see that. I hope that makes sense. And please don't forget to like the stream, guys. There's a massive imbalance here. Okay, let's see what the owl is going to show us. So ideally, I do not like dropping in and trading when pairs look like this. There's a bit aggressive for my liking. We always want to see clean price action. Always want to see clean price action. Good morning, Nick, or afternoon. I know it's afternoon for you that side. Hope you're doing well. Let's hop on and see what the market is giving us today. Okay, there we go. And then that's US oil on the lower time frames. There's nothing I'm seeing so far, guys. So you'll keep to this bigger time frame one and see what that shows us. Okay, awesome. And then I know I'm gonna hop on to. I'll give you one of my favorite pairs, guys. This one always works out for me. Euro AUD and GCAD. So most of the pairs that I do trade with these ones, they always work out for me. And yeah, kind of a personal relationship. Good morning, JJ. Good morning, Kabil. Hope you guys are doing well. Drop a thumbs up, of course. Like the stream. Let's grow the channel. We know that Cam hit 100,000 subscribers, which is beautiful. And we can all get there at some point. So on the daily, on EA, we do see a bit of a reversal. And I'll just explain it to you now quickly. What's the correlation between oil and gold? I don't think there is any, actually. There's a correlation between oil and GCAD. There's a huge one there. But with oil and gold, I actually don't think there is any. But what you can do, you can hop on to, I think it's my FxBook calculators, and then check the correlation between whichever pair you want to look at, whichever instrument you want to look at, and they'll just give you the percentages and so forth. The higher the percentage, the more correlated they are. So it'll be like trading the same thing. So once you do take a look at that, it'll give you a bit of an idea. And yeah, you end up, because it does change from time to time. So it'll give you a bit of something from that. And then I see SB31 says, which range you use for finding interesting OBs, and do you trade with aggressive entry or you wait for confirmations? So I trade in range. So usually I'd hop from the daily, go down to the 4 hour, go down to the 1 hour. And then those are the time frames I find structure in. And then from then on, I refine to as low as possible. Usually I prefer to have less than 10 points, less than 10 pips stop loss range. And then from there, I do need confirmations. And ideally, if I don't get confirmations, I would wait for price to get into my stop loss range, and then I use momentum using stop orders for my setups. So I hope I answered you there. I hope I answered you. Dream Team is currently on a selling EU. Let's see if we're on the same page. On the daily, we are a bit bullish there. Okay. Let's look at the hourly. You're probably trading Dream Team FX. You're probably trading around the lowest time frame. Let's see how it looks on the 30-minute. And then 15. So I think if I also trade this one, I'd probably look at it from this point now, because ideally on the higher time frames, we're not finding anything. And let's see how it would look on the 1 minute. And remember now, guys, when you start looking at it from the lower time frames, when you start going deeper and deeper into price, then you'll basically be allowing yourself to get wicked out of setups. So I'll probably look at it that way. And then let's just see how many pips that would be. 9.7 would be decent. And this is on the 15, by the way, guys. And remember, the lower you go, the higher the chances of getting wicked out. So just bear that in mind when you trade these lower time frames. And also your broker. Just make sure that your broker is not hitting you with high spreads. I hope that makes sense, guys. So you'd have something like this on the 15. And remember, all these other pairs up there, we do have our alerts in there. So as soon as they trigger, definitely just hop on and we watch what price is doing. Or if you do wait for it to get as high as that, you can definitely get in and follow it using momentum. So that's how to approach EA. Just going to mark it as well. And then we've got EU that you guys want to check out. We missed the GJ1, I think, or GA. That was a bummer, but it happens. It happens. Okay. Start with the higher time frames as usual. Just to see what price is giving you, see what it's showing you, and then from here you start getting on it decently. So I see ESB says, thanks a lot. If I understand correctly, you use, for example, buy stops, not buy limits. Definitely. Desmond, yes, I don't use limit orders at all, because what that does is it allows you to get wicked out. Because remember, sometimes you'd get a stop loss range, and because we are trying to get tighter ones, it might be so tight that price literally triggers your trade, wicks you out, and then comes back down into direction. We tend to get that a lot. So that's why we always wait for price to get into the region. Could push up a bit. Either we miss it, because it will turn at the entry as well, or we catch it using momentum when it drops down from the midway point of our stop loss range. You understand it perfectly there. And I see a Peter Namegas asking, what do you feel the best broker would be for a beginner for low spreads? That'll be a tight one. That's a difficult one, actually. We use two different brokers. You can just get on our website and check it out. If you check on our signals, you can get free signals by using those brokers, but we are not really directly affiliated with specific brokers, because we feel like you can always change a broker, and some brokers do have some type of history. But yeah, Euro USD on the daily, I think there. Oh, we do give that, by the way, guys. We do give out free signals on our website. You can just check them out. And then on the 4 hour, we're in a bit of a range here. We're in a bit of a range. I know there's some people that love trading ranges. I don't. We don't. We're always on a trade structure. Always on a trade structure. Like I said, we're always looking for the same thing on all the pairs, most time frames, and yeah, that's just it. Nothing special. On the 1 hour, we could be having something, but now It's a bit tricky because it's still happening in this range that we're talking about. So probably have something along these lanes. And of course, go all the way to the top there. And then you've got your alert to avoid getting worked out to give you. So these alerts, and ideally you'd look at them as these are points that alert you to actually place your buy stop using those zones. And what happens is sometimes when I do get on, when I do get into the level and I do get into price and I start seeing a structure on the lower time frame, say below the say 15 or 5, which is showing what's totally different from this, then I'd actually not place the alert and leave it at that. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. I see Jay Engel says, I hope everyone is good. How do I get better at my trading? By journaling. If you keep journaling, keep journaling, keep journaling, keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing, monitor your trades, understand your thought process on every single setup that you have, you will definitely find an edge. You will find what works for you and you will take advantage of that. So that's what we teach on our bootcamp, which if you check our website out, we teach that, whereby we're trying to get you to be process driven, trying to get you to trade as much as possible so we can start figuring out what works for you, where you're missing it. And once you start getting to a point where you're consistent in a certain way of approaching a setup, we emphasize on that and you take advantage of that and you scrutinize that. That's how you basically take advantage of it. I see you're selling GCAD. We'll check out GCAD just now. It's selling into the range, okay, on EA. Fair enough, fair enough. What about the 1.06 over to the left? Which pair are you referring to here? Which pair are you referring to? Just drop a comment, then I'll just go back to it and see. Thanks so much. As he's saying, thanks so much. This one that get destroyed by 1 or 5 pips every day I've taken. I understand now. Really appreciate your help. 100%. 100%. Awesome. Currently selling EC. I see Dulia wants us to look at the DAX, please. We'll look at that. Where do you learn trading from? Books. Yes, you do. You do. You can learn from books. There's a number of traders that have courses. There's stuff on YouTube. There's stuff everywhere. I think the trick is to really understand that if you learn from multiple people, you are honestly delaying your process. I'm not saying don't do it, but get a system correct first, understand it, master it, trade with it. And then once you start becoming profitable, then you can hop onto other systems, other setups, other ideologies. Because honestly, there is no perfect ideology. I mean, I used to trade support and resistance, which worked for me. I used to trade break and retest, which worked for me. I just stopped trading it because this one works for me better. There are some people that don't trade smart money anymore. They rather trade break and retest. So it's all up to you and what works for you. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. Let's check out GCAD. I see someone said they were in a silent GCAD. Okay, so we always want to know what's happening on the daily. Always want to know what's happening on the daily, guys. And you see now, with the daily, we had this massive push to the downside break of structure. And now these two candles here, they're a bit interesting for me. And if I delete that and hop onto the 4 hour, you'll see what I'm talking about. You look at that retracement, push to the downside, retracement. So we could be having something decent in here to trade from. Let's hop onto the hourly. Look for an unmitigated one. There's this one here which just got mitigated. This one here got mitigated here. So it's a bit tricky now. Let's see. Go to the 15. Go to the 15. Yeah, we're not finding anything decent to trigger from. And by the way, this is a setup that we found on the daily. We are still going to hop on, go deeper, and we'll find something in the 4 hour. In the 1 hour, you can even go lower. But when you start going lower, you start spending more time on the screen, which is not how we prefer to trade. Okay, there we go. So we'll have something like that. And let's see how that goes. Okay, let's see. There we go. Short position would have something along these lanes. There we go. Price points there. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Let's like the stream and keep growing. Perfect. And that's our setup on GCAD. Guys, I will give you guys a summary shortly before the London Open. And yeah, there's a couple of pairs that you guys have here. I'll just run through them and then guide you guys on how to take them and how to manage it moving forward. For confirmation, I see here as we're asking for confirmation. Which one did you use? Breaker structure, work off, breaker block, breaker structure, always breaker structure. Do I have an Instagram account? Yes, I do. I seldom use it. You can usually find me on Telegram. But yeah, master_FxShifu on Instagram. But just get on Trading Night, you'll find me. Then you can just drop me a Telegram. I see Bongi wants us to look at NZDCAD. And then we got shorting on AUD. I see Bidzero says, is that a winning play you're showing us? I show you guys winning plays all the time. The challenge now is sometimes they do work out, sometimes they don't. I'm giving you guys the exact process I use and the exact process I'm getting consistent in what I trade. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, let me just look at this last pair that NZDCAD. Oh, and then the DAX as well. So we'll just take a look at that first, actually. This is also one of those pairs where when they work out for you, man, they really work out for you. You end up getting your 15 Rs in them, which become very, very nice. We are still working in the same area. So I think if you did catch last week's setups, then you probably did catch this one as well. Okay, let's go into the 30-minute rather than to the 4 hour. So this will be a daily setup where you'll have that sell. I'm just going to put it here as well. So on next week's stream, guys, we must actually check this one out. Maybe we should, who requested the setup? It was, I can't find the comment now. Hey, that's my son out there playing. I can't find the comment now. But anyway, just check it out next week. Tell us how this plays out and we'll follow it. This is a daily one, by the way. And then let's go deeper into price and see if we can't find anything else in this lower time frames. Okay, no. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. 1 hour, we are getting a breaker structure. So we might be seeing something like this happening. And then move push to the upside. So if this region does hold and whatever high this creates, if it gets broken, then the low, it will be our interesting point to trade from. So for now, I think we'll just focus on this daily one. I wouldn't trade these ones here. And then let's see how the 15 is looking. Nope, definitely will not trade this one. Then let's take a look at NZDCAD. Also, Euro NZD, guys, it tends to give Some very, very nice setups. Very, very nice setups. So just hop into that one again here. This is the setup that gave us a 28-hour setup. So you can imagine that was wild. We had a BOS over here, but this was a bit of a range, so I wouldn't trade that. Let's look at the 4-hour. Too aggressive. Guys, just by following this process, we literally can analyze, or we do actually in the premium section, in our bootcamp, we analyze all 33, find the best setups out of them all, and then trade all of them when they do trigger. Yesterday, we had no trigger because, I mean, the only best setups that played out were like 4. So that didn't work out. We didn't have a setup yesterday. Nothing here. Nope. Okay. That's about it, eh? So, NZDCAD. Why don't I have it here? Always start at the daily, trying to see what price is showing you, trying to see what's going on, trying to get an overview. So look to the left. I mean, you can probably look at these 2 zones here. And then hop onto the 4-hour. I jumped ECAD. I'll take a look at ECAD, JJ. I need to get onto the London Open just now. Nothing over there. Okay, this looks like something is forming here on Euro NZD, on NZDCAD, sorry. So there's a request from one of you guys. So does seem like something is forming here on the 4-hour. So let's refine it. I'm just gonna go to the lowest. Then I'll come back to the hourly and see if we can find anything decent. And ideally, guys, let me just show you quickly. Once you do get this type of zone here, where you had a BOS over here, and then prices trickling back up, and I'll just show you guys quickly. So one could also look at this as and it was a BOS over here, came back, another BOS over here, which broke this one here, which kind of invalidates this one. But now you see it breaking above that one as well. So ideally, you'd want to see a point of entry above this level here, which is where this candle comes in. And then let me just go deep into price and see if we can't hop in there. That one is mitigated. Look at the 5-minute. So those are the dates I'm talking about. We just has a US 30 cross. I'm just going to go to it quickly now. Let me just see if we can find an OB to work with here. Most are mitigated. That one there. This one just got tapped in here. This one just got tapped in here. This one is a bit too low. It's way too low for my liking. So I wouldn't actually get into EN because of the point where I'd have to trade it from. So we're just going to jump that one for now. Look at US 30. So at this point now, you basically have a sell stop. And the sell stop would be entry be 32,493, stop loss 32,596. And then when price hits 1R, you'd move stop to break even and then wait for it to either hit 2R or 3R, close half, and then move your stop to 1R and let it move from there. Yeah, so that's it for now. So we'll have a alert and entry here. That's actually the one that triggered in the session. But meanwhile, let me hop onto my live session and just review these setups for you guys. So you've got gold. You can just scroll back. Same process, guys. Once price gets into the stop loss range, you enter your sell stop, or you wait, look into the lower time frames, look at structure, go into the downside or the upside, and then take it from there. US 100, same process. US 30 just triggered now, so we're waiting for it to enter the trade and then go to the downside. And remember, Risk management as well is very, very vital. We usually risk 0.2 to 0.5% per trade. Maximum loss per day is 1%. We don't go above that. Even if we have good setups playing out, we avoid getting into setups if we lost more than 1% for the day. So that's why usually with our setups, for example, here we've got 6. So at risk 0.2% per trade. And if we lose 4 trades, that's like 0.8 done. But kind of seldom happens. Happened a couple of times, but seldom happens. So if we do win 2 or 3, then we know that we've broke even, we went above our target for the day, and just take it from there. So let's trade, take advantage. Let's see what the market has in store for us today. EA as well, same story. And then Euro USD, waiting for it to come into the zone. Sell, buy, stop from here. And then GCAD, that's when it's very far, but wait for it to go to the top. And then sell, stop as well. So guys, let me hop off, go into the London Open. And so that's a trigger for US30. You guys should be running it, manage it accordingly. And check you guys next week, Tuesday. Check out my live streams happening every day on our YouTube. Let me just share the link here. London Open. Take you in Forex Dojo, or just go on our site. And yeah, the icon there. Keep in touch. Other than that, you can find me on Trading Nut. Just search for Master FxShifu, and can drop me a Telegram. Happy trading, guys, and manage your risk accordingly. Cheers, guys.